MUSHRA testing is used to analyze small differences in audio quality when you're doing something like signal processing or adjusting compression rates or audio watermark strengths or things like that. Let's take a look at how MUSHRA results are typically reported and how those results can lead us to draw conclusions about the assessors themselves. So if you watched my 60-second video, you already know what MUSHRA stands for. We also talked about the MUSHRA scale and how the hidden reference and middle and low anchors fit into that scale. So diving into what signals would actually be a part of a test, the hidden reference is obviously a copy of the original. We ask the test assessor to find that one first off and rate it 100. The middle and low anchors have just basic audio filtering on them, and they're designed to be middle and low quality representations of the original. Samples 1 through 4 are samples that I would prepare that have the different kinds of processing that I'm trying to assess the quality of. So I might, for example, pick 4 different compression ratios. And so those would be prepared in the DAW or in Audacity or some similar tool that allows for the kinds of transformations that you're going to do. Some of the testing I've done has been for watermarks. And typically with watermarks, as you increase the strength of the watermark, you also increase the perceptibility of the watermark. So I might prepare different samples of different strengths of watermark to see what can be heard and what can't be heard. This is kind of what we expect the results to look like. We expect the hidden reference to always be at or near 100. We expect the mid and the low to be somewhere in the middle and bottom. And we expect the test signals to be spread out and assessed with those biases built into the assessor's ear. Gives a really insightful picture. But there could be some issues. So here, at least one person has rated the hidden reference under 90. That's not good because it is identical to the original. So it should be very highly rated. It should actually be 100. Now, in my case, I just throw away that person's scores for this one song, all 7 of them. I just get rid of. I think that's the easiest way because if they were not able to identify the hidden reference, I can't really trust their hearing for this segment for the rest of the signals. I will for the other segments that are involved, but for this particular one, I would just throw away all the scores. But you can also see that in this case, 1 or more people have also ranked sample 1 at 100. Now, there's nothing preventing people from ranking more than 1 sample at 100. You could rank 2 or 3 at 100, score 2 or 3 at 100 if you felt strongly that they were the same. It's possible that one assessor just got it wrong and thought sample 1 was the pristine reference and thought the hidden reference was something else. In which case, again, throwing away their score makes that really easy. And if you throw away the score of the person who scored the hidden reference under 90 and the 100 score doesn't go away, that's fine. We're not looking to correct any data. We're just looking to remove any data that might indicate that that particular test wouldn't have good results. In some cases, assessors just forgot to fill out one of the values. In my case, I didn't have a validation to ensure that every value was completed. And I had made a decision not to make changes once I was in the middle of the test. So I was kind of stuck with that. And in this case, I decided to just throw away the score for that signal on the grounds that the assessor had actually done a great job. They just missed one. And so that shouldn't taint the other scores, the other 6 scores that they did provide and probably diligently provided. Here's an example where the scores just don't come in the way we expect them to. And those are always the interesting ones. So in this case, we have a case where sample 2 scores higher than sample 1, and we really feel like sample 2 is worse than sample 1, like it's worse than sample 1 everywhere else we tested it. So why is it not worse here? One thing I've learned is that MUSHRA testing is extremely sensitive to the type of sound segment being used, the dynamics involved, the instrumentation, and very importantly, the spectral range. Lows, mids, highs, what does that look like? And in fact, the anchors are just low-pass filters. all they do is cut various high frequencies off. They're very straightforward signal processing techniques. You can build one with a couple of plugins on any DAW in a minute. Very, very simple. However, the quality of the sample as it's transformed is very dependent on what's in the sample. And so you can get a case where even in the anchors, you can hear that they don't affect the sample as much as you might expect. This is really hard to figure out just by talking about it. Let's actually go listen to some real world examples. All right, so I've got Logic Pro up here, and I've got 2 tracks loaded in, and for each track, I've created a mid and a low anchor using the appropriate formula. Now, as I think I mentioned, these are just low-pass filters, so keep your eyes over here on the right-hand side of this frequency response chart when I'm playing these tracks, and you'll see the effect of the filter as a pretty dramatic drop-off in frequency response in those areas. But it affects each of these 2 tracks differently, so let's take a listen to the first one, which is a Christmas song. It has a lot of Christmas bells and cymbals and things in it. Let's take a listen to that. So you can see those Christmas bells basically disappeared in the low anchor. They were filtered out by the algorithm for creating it. But this next piece is a soft piano piece, and the effect of these filters is more subtle just because of the natural frequency response of where the piano is. So let's check that one out. So as you can see, you could hear the difference between those versions with the anchor filters applied, but they were nowhere near as strong an effect as they were in the first piece, just because the sonic information in the piano piece had frequencies that were lower in the audible spectrum, and therefore they were less impacted by the filters. MUSHRA testing is great for this. When you pick your samples properly, you can really draw out lots of fine level differences using different sampling and getting great information about the perceptibility of the changes you're making to the file. So that's a bit of a tour for some of the insights that you can get from the testing, both for the audio quality of the samples that you're testing, as well as the way the assessors are working through the test analysis itself. And if you have other questions or comments, let us know down below.